I pushed the door open and called, "Lena? I'm home." My voice sounded tired, but I still hoped she'd answer with something soft. Instead, she stepped out of the kitchen with her arms folded and eyes sharp enough to cut. I stopped halfway to her. "What's wrong now?" I asked, trying to keep my tone calm, but my chest tightened. "What's wrong?" she shot back. "You really want me to list everything? You weren't picking up. You came home late. Again." I sighed. "I told you I had extra work. You saw my message." "I saw a message," she said, "but messages don't mean anything when actions don't match." I felt my patience slipping. "Lena, I'm doing my best. Why does every small thing become a fight?" She stepped closer, her voice rising. "Because I'm tired, Ethan. I'm tired of feeling like I'm the only one trying." "That's not fair," I said. "I'm right here telling you I'm trying." She shook her head. "Trying isn't enough anymore." My stomach dropped. "What do you mean?" She paced past me, hands trembling even though her voice stayed cold. "I mean, I'm done pretending everything is fine. I'm done pretending we still make sense." I swallowed hard. "Lena, please don't do this tonight. I just walked in." "Exactly," she snapped. "You walk in and expect peace like you deserve it. Can you just tell me what you want from me?" I asked, my voice cracking more than I liked. "I want honesty," she said. "I want effort. I want you to act like a husband instead of someone passing through." "That's not true," I whispered. "You know I love." "No," she cut in. "Don't use that word tonight." The silence after that hit harder than her shouting. I stepped back and rubbed my face. "What are we even doing, Lena? We keep hurting each other. It's like you want me to fail." Her eyes flickered and she looked away. "Maybe we're better apart." Those 5 words slammed into me, knocking the air out of my chest. "You don't mean that." "I do," she said without hesitation. "I can't keep doing this." I reached for her arm, but she pulled it away like my touch burned. "Lena, please, can we talk like normal people?" "There's nothing left to talk about," she whispered, then raised her voice again. "I'm leaving before this gets worse." "Leaving? Where?" I asked, desperate. "Anywhere but here," she said, grabbing her bag from the table. "Lena, please don't walk out like this," I begged. She paused at the door but didn't look back. "Good night, Ethan." The door slammed, and the echo stayed long after she disappeared. I stared at the empty hallway, my hands shaking, my breath thin. I kept replaying her words, hoping they would change somehow. But they didn't. They sat heavy in my chest, cold and final, as I sank onto the couch and whispered to myself, "How did we end up like this?" I felt alone. I woke up with a heavy chest and reached for my phone. I called Lena once, hoping she just needed a little space. The call rang twice before cutting off like someone hit decline. I tried again and whispered, "Please pick up, Lena, just once." It went straight to voicemail, which made my stomach twist hard. I tried a 3rd time, then a 4th, clinging to any hope. When the screen flashed, "Message failed," I finally understood something was wrong. I muttered, "You didn't block me, right?" But fear answered anyway. I opened our old chats and saw nothing but a gray silence. Every message I sent bounced back like I wasn't real to her anymore. My breath tightened as I said, "Come on, Lena, not like this." I tried calling from WhatsApp, but it didn't even connect at all. Instagram refused to load her profile, which confirmed the truth instantly. I whispered, "You blocked me everywhere," and the room felt colder. Anger and panic crashed together until I couldn't sit still anymore. I grabbed my keys and drove toward Mila's place, needing real answers. When she opened the door, she looked startled, like she expected trouble. I said, "I just need to know if Lena's okay." "That's it." Mila bit her lip and kept the door only half open for me. She said, "She's fine, Ethan. She just doesn't want to talk." I stared at her because the pause in her voice felt rehearsed. "She blocked me," I said, forcing my voice to stay steady somehow. Mila nodded slowly and whispered, "Yeah, she did." My hands curled into fists as I asked, "Why? What did I do?" Mila shook her head and said, "This isn't about one thing, Ethan." I stepped forward slightly and said, "Then tell me what it is." She looked away, avoiding my eyes like the truth might slip out. She finally said, "She needs space. She doesn't want to argue anymore." I felt heat rise in my chest as I replied, "That's not space. Blocking your husband is not space. It's running," I said quietly. Mila swallowed hard and said, "Look, I can't speak for her choices." I asked, "Did something happen last night after she left?" Her silence answered faster than words, and it hit me instantly. I said, "Mila, please don't lie. Something feels too clean here." She whispered, I shouldn't get involved, and started closing the door slowly. I held the edge gently and said, "Is she safe at least?" Mila nodded but wouldn't look at me, which made my skin crawl. She said, "Ethan, she doesn't want contact right now. You need to go." Her voice trembled like she knew more than she could safely admit. I stepped back and said, "Fine. But this isn't normal." She closed the door, leaving me alone in the hallway with so many questions. As I walked away, I slowly felt a burning knot still twist deeper inside me. My marriage wasn't breaking in slow motion, it had already collapsed. Lena didn't just need space, she built a wall and sealed it shut. I tried burying myself in work, hoping numbers and reports would quiet my head for a while. It didn't help. Every few minutes, I stared at my phone like it might suddenly light up with a message from Lena saying she wanted to talk. It never did. I rubbed my temples and muttered, "Just focus, Ethan. Don't break here." That's when the door opened and Lucas stepped in. One look at his face made my stomach tighten. "Why do you look like someone died?" I asked. He closed the door behind him and said, "You need to check something." "What now?" I sighed. "If you're here to tell me Lena posted something dramatic again." "It's not her," he said quietly. "Just open Instagram." The way he said it made my hands go cold. I pulled out my phone, opened the app, and tapped Mila's profile. The first post hit me like a punch straight to the ribs. It was Lena sitting at a late-night cafe. Her hair tied back lazily, her smile soft, too comfortable. But the thing that made my chest freeze was the man sitting across from her. Some stranger leaning in close, like he'd known her for years. I whispered, "Who the hell is that?" Lucas didn't answer. He didn't need to. My eyes moved to the caption Mila wrote, "Finally choosing happiness." My throat closed. What does that even mean? I asked, but the words barely came out. I clicked on the picture again, zooming in like a lunatic, searching for something that told me it wasn't what it looked like. Lucas said softly, "I didn't want you to find out this way." I looked at him sharply. "So you knew?" "Ethan, no," he said quickly. "I swear I didn't. I saw it 10 minutes ago. I came straight here." I stared at him, trying to read him, but his eyes were steady. "Honest." I exhaled shakily and said, "I thought she just needed time. I thought she was overwhelmed." Lucas lowered himself into the chair across from me. "I know. But this?" I whispered. "She walked out on me and went straight to, whoever that is?" He said, "Maybe it's not what it looks like." "And what does it look like to you?" I snapped before I could stop myself. He didn't answer, and that silence hurt worse than anything else. I leaned back, covering my face with both hands. "She blocked me everywhere, Lucas. Everywhere. And then she goes out smiling with some guy? Am I supposed to pretend this is normal?" He shook his head. "No. You're not." I dropped my hands and stared at him. "Do you think she's seeing him?" "I don't know," he said honestly. "But whatever it is, it's wrong." I clenched my jaw so tightly it hurt. I thought she was just hurt. I thought she'd talk to me eventually. But she's already moved on. Lucas reached out and said, "Ethan, this isn't your fault." "I don't know," I whispered. "Maybe it is." "No," he said firmly. "You didn't deserve this." I looked at the picture again. The stranger's smile. Lena leaning in. The caption. Everything screamed betrayal. Everything twisted deeper than I ever expected. "She's gone," I finally said, my voice flat. Lucas didn't argue. Because we both knew it was true that I sat in my car for a full minute before I got out. My hands were shaking, but I told myself, "You just need answers. That's all." I walked up the steps and knocked on Mrs. Hale's door. I hoped she would be the one person who wouldn't shut me out. The door opened halfway and she looked surprised. "Ethan? Why are you here?" "I need to talk to Lena," I said, trying not to sound desperate. "Please." She hesitated before stepping aside. "She's in the living room." I walked in and froze. Lena was sitting on the couch, and next to her was the same man from the photo. He leaned back like he belonged there. She looked at me like I was an inconvenience. I whispered, "Lena, oh, what's going on?" She crossed her arms. "What does it look like?" I tried to stay calm. "Who is he?" She didn't blink. "Someone who actually listens." My jaw clenched. "That's what you're going with?" The man smirked like the whole situation amused him. "You must be Ethan," he said, like we were meeting at a party. "I'm Adrian." I stared at him. "I didn't ask for your name." Lena scoffed. "God, here we go." I took a slow breath. "Lena, can we talk alone?" "No," she said immediately. "Anything you want to say it here." Mrs. Hale looked nervous. "Maybe you two should." Lena cut her off. Mom, stay out of it. I turned back to Lena. Why are you doing this? Blocking me, disappearing, posting pictures with him? We were supposed to talk. We did talk, she snapped. You just never listened. I rubbed my forehead. Lena, that's not fair. Adrian leaned forward, voice smooth. She doesn't owe you anything. I glared at him. This is between me and my wife. Lena corrected me instantly. Soon to be. The word hit harder than any shout. You already decided that? She shrugged cold. I made up my mind a long time ago. I felt something inside me crack. So all this was what? You preparing your exit? Moving on before telling me? She shot me a look filled with spite. Don't make it sound dramatic. Adrian's been helping me. That's all. Helping? I repeated. By stepping into my marriage? He didn't step into anything, she said. You left space. He filled it. Mrs. Hale finally spoke. Lena, enough. This isn't right. Lena snapped. He needs to hear the truth. I stared at her. Then say it. Say what you want. She looked at me with eyes that used to be warm. I want someone who listens. Someone who sees me. Someone who doesn't make me feel alone. And that's him? I asked, pointing at Adrian. She didn't hesitate. Yes. Adrian smirked again, like victory tasted sweet to him. I turned away before rage got the better of me. You're choosing him over your marriage? It was over already, she said. You just didn't notice. My voice shook as I replied, maybe because I believed in us. She let out a cold laugh. That was your mistake. Mrs. Hale put a hand on my arm gently. Ethan, maybe you should go. I nodded, because staying would only pull me deeper into a place I couldn't come back from. I looked at Lena one last time. She didn't look away. She didn't soften. She didn't care. I walked to the door while Adrian's voice followed me. Take care, man. I didn't respond. I stepped outside and the air hit me like ice. As I walked toward my car, anger, heartbreak, and disbelief twisted together inside me until I could barely breathe. For the first time, I wondered if my marriage had died long before last night, and I just hadn't seen it. When I walked back into the house, the silence hit me so hard it felt physical. I dropped my keys on the table and whispered, "Why does everything smell like her?" My own voice startled me. I rubbed my face and said, "Get it together, Ethan," but the words didn't help. Every corner felt like a reminder. Her laugh in the kitchen, her perfume on the couch, her promises echoing in places I didn't ask them to stay. I sat on the edge of the bed and muttered, "You lied to me, didn't you? You weren't confused. You were leaving." My chest tightened as I tried to swallow the truth. Was I really that easy to replace? The room stayed quiet and that made it worse. I paced, running my hand along the wall. I kept trying to talk. I kept asking. You kept saying, "I just need time." I scoffed. Time for what? To walk out? To find Adrian? My voice cracked and I hated how weak it sounded. I should have seen it. I opened the window just to breathe, but the air felt heavy. You didn't slip away, I whispered. You planned it. My phone buzzed. I stared at it for a long second before answering. Bro? Lucas's voice came through, rough with concern. You home? Yeah, I said, swallowing the dryness in my throat. Trying to be, at least. I heard what happened. You okay? No, I admitted. Not even close. What's going on in your head right now? What isn't? I let out a shaky breath. I keep replaying everything. Every fight. Every weird tone. Every time she looked away instead of answering me. I walked into the living room. I thought she was overwhelmed. But no, she was checking out. Quietly. Gradually. Like she didn't want me to notice. You couldn't have known. Couldn't I? I leaned against the wall. She stopped laughing. Stopped asking about my day. Stopped caring if I came home late. I pressed my hand against my stomach. She was already gone, man. She just hadn't packed her bags yet. Lucas sighed. Ethan, you need to take a breath. I can't, I said. Everything inside me feels wrong. Like something's been ripped out. That's heartbreak. Unfortunately. I laughed bitterly. Feels more like damage. Okay, listen, he said gently. Focus on yourself right now. How do I do that? I asked. How do I focus on myself when all I can think about is her choosing someone else? Sitting next to him like I never existed? You can't change what she did, he said. You can only control what you do now. I paced again. I don't even know who I am without her. That's the worst part. I feel hollow. Like something inside me died last night. Ethan? No, don't sugarcoat it. I know what this is. I looked around at the living room again, the shadows stretching in all the places she used to be. I'm collapsing, Lucas. And I don't know how to stop it. I'm here, he said firmly. You're not alone. But even with his voice steady in my ear, the loneliness sank deeper. I just wish, I whispered, that she'd told me the truth before breaking me like this. I wasn't expecting anyone, so when the knock hit my door, I just stared at it for a second. My chest tightened. Please don't be Lena, I muttered. When I opened it and saw Mila standing there instead, my stomach dropped. What do you want? I asked. My voice came out colder than I planned. She looked down, twisting her fingers. Can I come in? No, I said instantly. Say whatever you need to say from there. Mila swallowed. Ethan, it's important. I stepped aside just enough to let her in, but I didn't offer her a seat. Talk. She walked in slowly, like the floor was covered in broken glass. I wasn't going to tell you anything, she said. I thought it wasn't my place. But after last night, I can't keep quiet. I crossed my arms. Spit it out. Her eyes flicked up to meet mine. Lena didn't meet Adrian last week. Or yesterday. She started talking to him months ago. The words hit like a punch. Months? Yes. She wiped her palms on her jeans. It wasn't supposed to go this far. That's what everyone says right before it goes exactly that far, I snapped. I know, she whispered. I know how it sounds. How long? I asked again, slower this time. Give me a number. 4 months, she said. Maybe 5. I felt heat climb my neck. So while I was trying to fix things, she was already with him. It wasn't like that, she tried. It was exactly like that. Mila's voice trembled. She was unhappy, Ethan. She felt stuck. I took a step toward her. She could have talked to me. She could have said something. Anything. She didn't want to hurt you. I laughed, sharp and bitter. Well, she nailed it anyway. Mila flinched. I'm not defending her. I'm telling you the truth. Why now? Why tell me this today? My hands curled into fists at my sides. Because I saw your face last night, she said. And I realized you had no idea. She let you walk into that house blind. She let you stand there while Adrian sat next to her like. She stopped herself. You deserve the truth. At least from me. I looked away, my throat burning. Did she love him? Mila hesitated. She said he made her feel alive. My jaw locked so hard it hurt. Alive? I repeated. Great. So I was what? A dead weight. No, she said quickly. Just familiar. Predictable. Safe. Safe isn't a crime. I know, she whispered. I stepped back, rubbing my face. God, I'm such an idiot. I kept thinking she was confused. That we could talk it out. You weren't an idiot, Mila said quietly. You were trying. She wasn't. I looked at her, really looked at her, and for the first time she didn't seem like Lena's guard dog. She seemed like someone who regretted everything she'd helped cover up. Why didn't you stop her? I asked. I tried, she said. But she kept saying it was harmless. Just messages. Just attention. Just someone who listened. Mila's voice cracked. And then it wasn't harmless anymore. The room felt smaller, tighter. I need you to leave. Mila nodded without arguing. I'm sorry, Ethan. I truly am. I walked to the door and opened it. Good. She paused in the doorway. Whatever you decide to do. I hope it brings you peace. Peace isn't on the menu, I said. Not yet. When she stepped out, I shut the door behind her harder than I meant to. The sound echoed through the house, rattling something inside me. I pressed my back against the door, breathing through the ache in my chest. Months, I whispered. She lied for months. My hands shook, not from sadness but something sharper, something final. And in that trembling moment, I made my decision. Whatever happens next, I'm done being the one who breaks. I didn't sleep. By morning my eyes burned, but I didn't bother fixing anything. I just grabbed my keys and walked out. The city felt colder than usual as I made my way to the law office Lucas recommended. Every step echoed with the same thought. I'm really doing this. When I reached the door with Warren and Associates written on the glass, I hesitated. Then I pushed inside. A receptionist looked up. Do you have an appointment? No, I said. But I need to see Mr. Warren. It's urgent. She studied my face for a moment, then nodded. Have a seat. I'll check. A minute later she returned. He can see you now. I followed her to a small office where a man in his 50s sat behind a wooden desk. He looked calm, patient, Someone who had heard every kind of heartbreak. Ethan, right? He said. Yes. My voice felt thick. Have a seat, he offered. I sat down slowly. I need help. Tell me what's going on. I let out a shaky breath. My wife blocked me. Everywhere. Then I found out she's been seeing someone for months. Lying. Sneaking around. My words came out flat as if someone else were speaking. I confronted her. She didn't deny it. She said he listens. She said he makes her feel alive. Mr. Warren nodded slowly. I see. I don't even know when things fell apart, I continued. I thought she was stressed. I thought we were just going through a phase. But she already checked out. She already replaced me. He didn't rush me. And what do you want to do? I looked at my hands. End it. He opened a folder. Divorce. The word felt heavy but right. Yes. All right, he said gently. Before we start, I need to ask, are you making this decision in anger? I shook my head. No. If anything, I'm past anger. I'm just done. There's nothing left to fight for. He slid a stack of papers toward me. This is the petition. We can file it today. I stared at the first page. My name. Her name. The date of our marriage. The words irretrievable breakdown printed in black ink. Mr. Warren leaned forward. You don't have to rush. Take a moment. I don't need a moment, I said quietly. I've taken months. I picked up the pen but my hand didn't move yet. Instead I whispered, did I fail her? He shook his head. Marriage takes two people. If one checks out, the other can't hold it together alone. I tried, I murmured. I believe you. I pressed the pen to the paper and signed my name. The moment the ink touched, something inside me loosened, like a rope snapping after being pulled too tight. Mr. Warren watched me carefully. How do you feel? Strange, I admitted. Not relieved. Not sad. Just calm. Like I'm surrendering to something that already happened. That's normal. It's not peace, I said. It's sharper than that. It's clarity, he said. I nodded slowly. Maybe. He handed me another form. This one covers property and communication boundaries. Communication boundaries, I repeated. Funny. She already set those by blocking me. He didn't comment. I signed again. When I finished the last page, Mr. Warren gathered the papers carefully. We'll file this today. You'll receive updates by email. Thank you, I said. Do you need support? A therapist? A counselor? No, I whispered. I just need distance. He nodded. If you change your mind, the resources are here. I stood up. I won't change my mind. When I walked out of the office, the air outside felt different, not lighter but clearer, like the dust had finally settled. Lucas called me right as I stepped onto the sidewalk. I answered with a tired, yeah? You okay? He asked. I signed the papers, I said. He went silent. Then softly, are you sure? Yes, I said. I'm done begging for someone who doesn't want me. What now? I looked down the street, hands in my pockets. Now I give her what she's been asking for. And you? I exhaled slowly. I start over. I stared at the divorce documents on my table for a long time before finally whispering, all right, let's try this. I pulled out my phone even though I already knew what would happen. Blocked. Again. I tried sending the files through email, hoping maybe she'd forgotten to block that too. But the message bounced back instantly. Unreachable, I muttered, rubbing my forehead. Of course. Lucas called right then like he sensed something was wrong. You try sending them? Yeah, I said. She blocked everything. Told you she would. Just mail them. I know, I said. I know that's the logical thing. But something in me, I paused trying to find the right words. I need one last moment of control. Not to fight. Not to drag this out. Just to hand it over myself. To end it my way. Lucas sighed. If you think that'll help, do it. But don't go looking for pain. I'm not, I said. Pain's already living here rent-free. He didn't argue. By afternoon, I was standing outside Lena's office building with the envelope in my hand. The lobby smelled like too strong perfume and disinfectant. I went to the reception desk and cleared my throat. The receptionist looked up and immediately recognized me. Her eyes flickered with awkward sympathy. Ethan, hi. Hey, I said quietly. I just need to give something to Lena. Her expression shifted. Oh, she's not here. My chest tightened. Not here as in she's out for lunch? No, she said softly. She left early. Left early, I repeated. Why? She hesitated and I could see the discomfort in her face. She didn't say much. Just that she was going somewhere. With someone, I finished for her. The way she avoided my eyes was answer enough. I stared at the envelope in my hand. The weight of it made my fingers feel numb. Right, I said. Okay. Ethan, she whispered, I'm sorry. It's fine, I said even though it absolutely wasn't. Can you just let her know I came by? She nodded. I turned to leave, the envelope crushed slightly between my fingers. As the doors closed behind me, the city noise rushed in, cars, horns, people laughing, but everything around me felt muted like cotton stuffed in my ears. Lucas called again. Did you give her the papers? No. What happened? She left early, I said. With him. Lucas exhaled sharply. Ethan. No, don't, I cut in. Don't say anything. I'm not surprised. I just hate that it still hits me. That's because you cared, he said gently. I still do, I admitted. And that makes me feel stupid. You're not stupid. You're hurt. I walked down the sidewalk slowly, eyes fixed on the pavement. I thought signing the papers would make things simpler. Cleaner. And? It didn't, I whispered. Her silence hurts more than any argument we ever had. Lucas didn't speak for a moment. Then, what are you going to do now? I looked at the envelope again. Mail them, I said. I don't have anything left to hand her in person. That's a good call. Lucas, I murmured, I feel numb. Like my emotions are shutting off one by one. It's your mind trying to protect you. Doesn't feel like protection, I said. Feels like disappearing. Hey, he said firmly. You're still here. You're still standing. Yeah, I said, though it didn't feel true. Barely. When I ended the call, I slipped the envelope into a mailbox. Watching it drop felt like watching a door close that I could never open again. And all I felt was silence. Night settled around me like something heavy, but I didn't slow down. I drove straight to Mrs. Hale's house with the windows down, trying to breathe. When I pulled up, Adrian's shiny black car was already sitting in the driveway like it belonged there. My jaw tightened, but I didn't wait. I got out, grabbed the envelope, and walked straight to the door. I didn't knock. When I stepped inside, Mrs. Hale froze halfway through pouring tea. Ethan, she whispered. What are you? Lena turned sharply, eyes wide. Why are you here? Adrian stood up slowly, giving me that smug look I'd seen before. This isn't the time, man. I didn't look at him. I'm not here for you. Mrs. Hale whispered, Ethan, please? I walked straight to the dining table, to the chair Lena always used to make me sit in during family dinners. The chair where she laughed, where she held my hand, where she pretended nothing was wrong. I placed the envelope down gently. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't break. I just said, sign them. The whole room went dead silent. Lena's mouth fell open. What is that? You know what it is, I said calmly. Divorce papers. Her face drained of color. You're serious? Yes. Adrian stepped closer, puffing his chest a little. Don't you think you're being dramatic? I looked at him for the first time. Stay out of this. He smirked. She doesn't want you anymore. Isn't that clear? Adrian, Lena snapped. Stop. Mrs. Hale clutched her hands together. Ethan, sit down. Let's talk. No, I said. I'm done talking. I'm done begging. I'm done being the only one who tried. Lena swallowed hard. You don't understand. I understand perfectly, I cut in. You started talking to him months ago. You blocked me. You left work early with him today. And you still think I should stand here and listen like a fool? Lena looked at the floor. I didn't think you'd actually sign anything. Yeah, I said. I know you didn't. She stared at me, almost scared. Why now? Because I'm not chasing you anymore. Her lips trembled. Ethan, don't do this. You already did it, I said. Long before tonight. Adrian scoffed. This is embarrassing. Just leave, man. She moved on. I took a step toward him. You don't get to talk to me about embarrassment. You were meeting my wife behind my back. We didn't. You did, I said sharply. And you know it. Lena grabbed Adrian's arm. Stop. Please. Mrs. Hale moved closer to me. Ethan, honey, we can sort this out. You two don't have to. I shook my head. I'm not here to sort anything out. I'm here to finish something. Lena wrapped her arms around herself. Why don't we discuss this privately? No, I said. You made every part of this public. Your friend posted your picture with him. Your silence was loud enough for everyone to hear. I'm giving you the one thing you never gave me, clarity. Her breath hitched. I never wanted it to end like this. Neither did I said quietly. But you ended it anyway. I pushed the papers toward her. Sign. She stared at the table like the wood grain might save her. You're really walking away? I already did, I said. You just didn't notice. Adrian muttered, good riddance. I didn't look at him. She's all yours. Then I paused. Just remember, you won her by breaking something. And broken things don't stay shiny for long. Lena's eyes widened and something flickered in them, fear or regret I couldn't tell. I turned toward the door. Ethan, she called softly. I didn't stop. For the first time in months I felt the power shift inside me, quiet, steady, final. And I left her standing there, realizing she never expected me to be the one to walk away. That it had been a week since I left her mother's house. I thought the silence would sting less over time, but it didn't. My phone buzzed while I was making coffee. Lucas. Hey, I answered. Ethan, you're not going to believe this, he said, voice low, careful. What? I asked, already tense. I saw Adrian at the club last night. With another woman. I froze, mug halfway to my lips. Not Lena? No, Lucas said quickly. Some random girl. He was flirting, dancing, everything. Like he didn't care about anyone else. I put the mug down. My first instinct was disbelief. That can't be true, I whispered. He's been with her for months. Lucas laughed softly, but it was sad. Yeah. But liars, they don't stop lying because they find someone new. They just lie somewhere else. I rubbed my forehead. I should feel, I don't know, satisfaction? Relief. You should feel calm, he said. Not like you have to cheer. Just observe. I exhaled slowly. I am calm. Tired. Everything else is just noise. Good, he said. That's how you know you're healing. I ended the call and sat at the table. I thought about Lena. About Adrian. About the way she looked at me, at him, at the world. I thought about power and choices. About what happens when the person you trusted the most becomes someone you barely recognize. My phone buzzed again. Mila. Hey, I said cautiously. Ethan. I don't know what to say, she sobbed. I saw Lena crying yesterday. She and Adrian, they're constantly fighting. He's avoiding her. And she's miserable. I stayed silent, letting her words sink in. I feel so guilty, she said. I tried to warn her. I tried to tell her to be careful. But she didn't listen. I know, I said quietly. It's not your fault, Mila. But it is, she cried. I helped cover things up. I didn't stop them when I should have. And now she's... Shoo, I said softly. Stop. I sat back, letting the information settle like dust. My chest didn't swell with glee. I didn't even feel a spark of revenge. Just tired, exhausted. Everything inside me had already burned out from the months of chaos she created. Mila sniffled. I don't want her to hurt anymore. But it seems like the universe, it's taking care of things. Yeah, I said quietly. Karma doesn't need help. It doesn't need me. It doesn't need anyone. It just happens. There was a long pause on the line. I guess she's learning the hard way, I said finally. Mila sobbed softly, then wiped her eyes. I hope you're healing too, Ethan. I am, I said. Slowly. But I am. After we hung up, I sat in silence, listening to the faint hum of the city outside my window. The world kept moving, people kept lying, cheating, making mistakes, breaking hearts. But some things had a way of finding their balance on their own. I thought of Lena and Adrian, their fights, their fragile little world. And I realized I didn't need to watch it crumble. I only needed to let it. Because I was done. And that was enough. The knock at my door came late and I wasn't expecting anyone. I frowned, glancing at the clock. 11:42 p.m. I opened it slowly and my stomach tightened the second I saw her. Lena. Hair tangled, mascara smudged, eyes red and watery. Ethan. Her voice was shaky, soft, barely a whisper. I didn't invite her in. I just leaned against the doorframe. What are you doing here? I made a mistake, she said, voice trembling. I didn't know what I had until it was gone. She stepped closer, reaching for my hand. I pulled mine back. Slowly, deliberately. Lena, don't. Her lips quivered. Please, just hear me out. Can we start over? I shook my head, voice flat. No. We can't. She blinked, tears spilling down her cheeks. I'm sorry, Ethan. I really am. I didn't mean to hurt you. You did, I said quietly. Over and over again. Her shoulders slumped. I know I ruined everything. But I love you. I've never stopped. I looked past her, at the floor, at the small crack in the wall where sunlight used to hit in the mornings. Love doesn't fix everything, Lena. Not when it's been twisted with lies and selfishness. Not when trust is shattered. I'll do anything to prove it, she whispered, voice cracking. I'll change. Oh. Stop, I said. Stop trying to talk me into forgiving you. She flinched as if I'd struck her. Ethan, please. I'm not the same man who begged you to talk, I said softly. I'm not the man who stayed up nights replaying every word, every moment, wondering if it was me, wondering if I could save us. That man is gone. Her hands trembled as she reached again, but I stepped back. Please, just listen, I said. I've given you everything I could. And it's not about revenge. It's not about anger. It's about me. I finally see clearly. I finally understand what I need, and it's not you. Her lips trembled. So, it's over? I nodded, voice steady. It's over. And I'm at peace with it. I don't hate you. I don't wish you pain. But I won't let you pull me back into a world that broke me. She swallowed, trying to speak, but no words came. Her eyes pleaded, desperate. I know this hurts, I said. It's supposed to. But one day, you'll understand that some doors once closed are never meant to reopen. Some mistakes are lessons. She lowered her gaze, tears still rolling, shoulders trembling. I wish I could take it all back. You can't, I said softly. But that's not your burden anymore. It's mine now, to live, to heal, to move forward. Her lips quivered, she took a small step back, then another, and I closed the door quietly behind her. I leaned against it, exhaling slowly. No screaming, no begging, no pleading. Just silence. And for the first time in months, I felt a clarity I hadn't thought possible. I was free. I was whole. I was done. The knock at my door was hesitant this time. I didn't need to look through the peephole to know it was her. Lena. She had that same shaky posture, the same desperate look, but this time it felt different. Less pleading, more trying to explain. I opened the door slowly. Ethan, she whispered. Can we talk? I didn't invite her in. I just leaned against the doorframe. Talk. I said flatly. After everything? She nodded quickly. I know I hurt you. I didn't mean to. I was stressed, confused. Mila said things, I didn't listen. I raised a hand, stopping her mid-sentence. Stop. Don't try to blame Mila. Don't try to blame stress. Don't try to blame anything but yourself. Her lips trembled. I didn't know how else to handle it. You didn't know how else to handle it? I repeated, voice low. You walked out. You blocked me. You left me alone when I needed you most. And that's how you handled it. Her eyes welled up and she took a small step closer. I thought we could fix things. I thought too, I said, shaking my head. I thought we could talk, we could fight, we could survive. But you didn't even try. You gave up. On us. On me. She pressed her hands to her face and took a shaky breath. I didn't know you felt that way. Of course I felt that way, I said, tone sharper now. Every night, every hour, I wondered why you left. Wondered if it was something I did, something I didn't do. And the truth is, it doesn't matter what I did. You left anyway. Her shoulders slumped, voice breaking. Ethan, I'm sorry. Can we, at least be friends? I stared at her, a cold calm spreading through me. Friends? I repeated. Do you even hear yourself? You didn't just leave. You shut me out. You erased me from your life when I trusted you the most. She sniffled, wiping at her eyes. I know I hurt you. But can't we? No, I said quietly but firmly. We can't. I'm not the same man who begged you to stay. I'm not the man who would take your apologies and pretend everything's fine. Not anymore. She shook her head, tears streaming. I thought you'd understand. I do understand, I said, voice steady. I understand that I deserve better than excuses. Better than broken promises. Better than silence and betrayal. She sank onto the step outside my door, covering her face with her hands. Please. I love you. I don't want to lose you. I looked at her quietly, letting the words land without answering. Because love isn't measured by words. It's measured by actions. And her actions had already chosen someone else. Her freedom, her lies, her own path, while I was left behind. I hope one day you realize what you lost, I said softly. She hiccuped, shaking her head. Ethan. I closed the door gently but firmly, the sound final. I leaned against it for a moment, breathing through the emptiness. Not anger, not sadness. Just clarity. For the first time in years I chose myself. I chose respect over heartbreak. I chose peace over pain. And I didn't look back. Because this time I was walking away on my own terms. For the first time I felt whole. And the weight of what I'd carried for months lifted, leaving only a quiet strength I didn't know I had. I had finally made the choice I should have made a long time ago. I had chosen me. The courthouse doors felt heavier than I expected as I stepped inside. I had rehearsed this moment in my head for weeks, but reality carried its own weight. I walked to the clerk's desk, the envelope of papers clutched firmly in my hands. The clerk looked up, smiling politely. All set for signatures? Yes, I said, my voice calm but steady. I signed the first page, then the next. Each stroke felt like a small release, like the pieces of me I had lost over the past months were slowly returning. The last page went down cleanly, the pen moving with deliberate precision. When I finished, I laid it on the desk and whispered to myself, "It's done." The clerk looked up at me. "Congratulations." I nodded, unable to force more than that. "Thank you." Walking out of the courthouse, the cold morning air hit me sharply and I inhaled deeply. It stung my lungs, but it also felt different. Light. Unfamiliar, yes, but welcome. I realized I was breathing for the first time in months without the weight of her absence and betrayal pressing down on me. Lucas was waiting across the street holding 2 cups of coffee. He smiled as I approached. "Hey man, I'm proud of you," he said. I shook my head, forcing a small smile. "Proud? I don't feel that." "That's okay," he said, handing me a cup. "You don't have to. You did what you needed to do." I took the coffee, letting the warmth seep into my hands. "I feel space. Quiet space. That's all." Lucas nodded knowingly. "That's better than most people ever get. You've been carrying so much, Ethan." "Yeah," I said softly. "I thought letting go would hurt less, but the truth is, it's strange. I'm free, but it feels like I'm floating, like I don't know how to exist without the fight, without the constant tension." "That's the first step," Lucas said. "You just need to learn to breathe without the chaos." I nodded, sipping the coffee. The bitterness grounded me, helped me feel present. "I'm tired," I admitted. "Not just physically. Emotionally. Mentally. I'm tired of chasing someone who didn't want to be caught. I'm tired of replaying memories that break me in pieces. And I'm tired of trying to make sense of someone else's choices." Lucas leaned back, studying me quietly. "You're not alone anymore. You fought. You survived. And now you get to build your life." I exhaled slowly, looking out at the street. People were rushing past, faces blurred in motion, lives moving forward. For months, I had felt like I was trapped in a story that wasn't mine. A story where I was the only one fighting, the only one who cared, the only one who stayed awake at night wondering how it all fell apart. But now it felt like the narrative had shifted. I didn't have to live in her story anymore. I could write my own. "I don't know if healing will be fast," I said, voice low. "I don't know if I'll feel like myself immediately. But I do know that I'm done pretending, done holding space for someone who refused to meet me halfway." "You will heal," Lucas said. "Piece by piece. And you'll come out stronger than you think." I let his words settle in. They weren't a promise. They were a possibility. And that was enough. For the first time in a long time, I felt the freedom of choice. I could wake up tomorrow and decide how I wanted to live, without guilt, without longing, without carrying her absence like a shadow that swallowed every corner of my mind. I finished my coffee and set the cup down gently. "I'm ready," I said. "Ready to start again. Ready to live for me, not for her, not for anyone else." Lucas smiled, raising his cup. "To new beginnings." I clinked mine against his, the sound sharp and clean in the quiet cafe. It was a small gesture, but it carried everything. Release, clarity, and the first step into a life I chose for myself. As I stepped back into the street, I felt it fully, the weight lifting, the space widening around me. The air no longer pressed down with memories of betrayal. It carried possibility, and for the first time in months I felt like I was truly breathing again. I walked forward slowly, each step deliberate, each breath intentional. The past was behind me, the future ahead. And I was finally, fully living for myself. Freedom felt strange, but it felt right. And I was ready.